What's good, YouTube? It's cuddleofdeath today. Hey, happy day, woo! And I'm bringing you guys another Pokemon X and Y 6th Gen Wi-Fi battle. This is actually against my friend David, also known as SensationalGP on YouTube, and make sure to check him out because his channel will be linked in the description. He does a lot of Pokemon related content and he is fucking hilarious, so like I said, make sure to check him out. Now this is actually an OU battle because I do have some OU Pokemon on my team, and I want to go ahead and obviously say, if you can see what you're looking at on the screen, the team preview, you should be able to tell that I'm running a Sun team. So whenever I first saw David's team, I'm like, oh my goodness, David, you have so many threats. So I was actually very, very nervous. But you know what? This battle is actually an amazing battle. In total, we ended up with like 38 turns, so of course, once we get the battle started, I have it sped up a bit so that you guys don't have to sit through normal speed 38 turns, because that's a lot of turns to have in a Wi-Fi battle. But I do definitely enjoy this battle very much, and I hope that you guys will enjoy it. And if you guys do enjoy it, please make sure to thumbs up this video because it does help me out, especially because I'm starting to get into Wi-Fi battling. And like I mentioned in the previous video, if you would like to battle me, make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'll link that in the description as well. And whenever I tweet out looking for battles, we can exchange friend codes and have good fun battles, and hopefully one day you guys will see yourselves on my channel whenever we have battles, and in the future I might actually stream them. So if you want to see that, make sure to follow me on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/cuddleofdeath. All of that stuff will be linked in the description. We're gonna go ahead and get this battle started. So for this, based off of his team, I decided that the safest lead was going to go ahead and be Foxify, which obviously just to get the sun out and whatnot, because I wasn't really threatened by any of his Pokemon, especially because I felt like I would be able to swap. I kind of scouted what he was going to do there, and I just straight up went for a Roar. He gets swapped into his Sylveon, goes for the Hyper Voice. It does very little damage. I went ahead and go for the Will-O-Wisp because I'm not sure if he was going to swap or not, which he does afterwards, and that's okay. He swaps into his Gliscor, and I decide to go ahead and swap Foxify out into Leafy Bottoms because I know that Leafy Bottoms can definitely take a hit from him. I start spamming Growth, since I'm well aware that Leafy Bottoms, like I said, can take a hit from this Gliscor. Anything that this Gliscor wants to dish out, Leafy Bottoms can handle it. I get a Growth up and I start going for a Giga Drain, which, you know, breaks the sub. He doesn't really even do half with that Earthquake, and that is fantastic for me because I can just start spamming Giga Drain. And because we're out in the sun, I do have my Chlorophyll active. I can handle hits from this Gliscor, and I can actually take him out. But I decide, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and start spamming Growth a little bit. I start actually getting super greedy here, thinking maybe I can have a Leafy Bottom sweep. How cool would that be? It would take quite a bit, but you know what? Leafy Bottoms has the capability to do so. So I continue to spam Growth. He goes for Earthquakes. I'm still outspeeding because of the sunlight, but unfortunately for me, the sunlight actually fades, which makes me so sad, making Leafy Bottoms slower than the Gliscor, so I decide to go ahead and swap out into Dr. Mandibs, which is my Mandibuzz. Now, the reason why I swapped into Mandibuzz is because I know that it can also take hits as well. I roost because I was scouting there, and I wanted to see if he's going to go for like a Stone Edge or something, but it doesn't matter. He Toxics me and starts Protect spamming now, so I'm like, okay, David. And I was just like, do I want to swap here, or do I want to like use Taunt? I decided to go for the Taunt, that way he can't use any other moves like Protect and whatnot once his substitute is broken. And he's continuing to gain the HP back from Poison Heal. Earlier, I should have totally just taken him out instead of spamming Growth on Leafy Bottoms. I was not paying attention to how many turns the sun had already been up. He swaps into a Sylveon here, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go into Dr. Chubb's. Very strong physical attacker. I can totally handle it, but at the same time, I can't remember what it was running. So I go back out into Foxify because I know that his Sylveon cannot do a single thing to Foxify, except for it starts spamming Hyper Voice. The thing I can just keep doing here is using Rest because my Sleep Talk is available for me, and this Ninetales moveset is Sleep Talk, Rest, Will-O-Wisp, and Roar. So I can just keep getting up Will-O-Wisp on Pokemon and whatnot. He swaps back into his Gliscor. I go back into my Mamoswine thinking, you know, Dr. Chubbs can totally destroy this Mamoswine. I start using Ice Shard. He goes for the Toxic, which kind of sucks because I can't get rid of that on Dr. Chubbs, but that is okay. Dr. Chubbs is choice banded, obviously, and he decides to go ahead and swap out back into Sylveon. I go for the Ice Shard now that I'm locked into it. Do a fair amount of damage to Sylveon. The burn is able to take it out, so I was very happy about that because Sylveon can be very, very annoying. He goes into his Bisharp, and I'm figuring, you know, he's probably got Sucker Punch, so I swap back into Foxify to see what he's going to do. He does use the knockoff, which does a crap load of damage to Foxify, and he takes the Heat Rock, which makes me kind of sad because I really want to keep the sun up for as long as possible. I swap into Dr. Doom. He goes into Gliscor. I Mega Evolve Dr. Doom. Look at that Mega Houndoom. I love it. Although the shiny thing is not as good as the normal version of it. I go for the Fire Blast and I miss, which makes me really sad. And this Gliscor, which at some point was about to die, is now back to full HP. I swap back into Foxify as a Death Fodder and to get the sun back up, because I figured that I have enough turns left now so that I can defeat the rest of his team. I swap into Leafy Bottoms. Chlorophyll is activated. I straight up go for the Giga Drain. Unfortunately, because we have no growth up, it doesn't really do very much damage. Leafy Bottoms didn't recover enough HP to stay alive, and he dies. And that is perfectly okay, because I was like, it's totally fine if he dies. I can just, you know, use him as Death Fodder as well. I start spamming Ice Shard from Dr. Chubbs, my Mamoswine. It does a fair amount to the Smeargle. I have no idea why David decided to stay in. He probably didn't really care about the Smeargle anymore. So we did get to take that out there. Unfortunately, since we're locked into Ice Shard, I decided to swap my Mamoswine out, go back into Dr. Doom. He goes for the knockoff, which doesn't do very much damage. And it's just very easy for me to keep Dr. Doom in here. He's faster than most of the Pokemon on David's team. I go for the Fire Blast. Thankfully, I actually hit this one. I take out his Gliscor, and obviously that hurts super bad. He goes into his Garchomp once I'm sitting here thinking this has got to be a Mega Garchomp. So I swap into my Dr. Bird, predicting the Earthquake. And at the same time, I'm like, I really don't care about Dr. Bird too much. I'm okay to lose him, so I start spamming that priority Brave Bird. Do over 50% damage on him. He goes for the Stone Edge and he misses. So I get another Brave Bird and I take out his Mega Garchomp. That Stone Edge definitely did matter, because obviously it would have taken out Dr. Bird hands down. He goes into his Bisharp now, so I decide to go ahead and swap into my Mandibuzz. Now this is completely Death Fodder here, because I wanted to save my other Pokemon right now and get at least a very minimal amount of damage using Brave Bird, because that's my Mandibuzz's only attack move. So I'm just waiting for him to take out this Mandibuzz with his Bisharp so that I can swap back into, I think, Houndoom. Yeah, Mega Houndoom for this Bisharp, because at this point he has an Alakazam, Bisharp, and there's one other Pokemon. What was it? I can't remember it right off the top of my head. I think he has 3 though left. So my Mandibuzz dies. I go back out into Dr. Doom, predicting the Sucker Punch, and I'm like, oh, that still does a crap ton of damage, obviously, because it's very strong stab. But it's okay. We do have enough to take out the Bisharp. He does go into his Alakazam, which I figured would outspeed, but I was hoping at the same time maybe he was running a modest one. This shiny Mega Houndoom is timid, so I was hoping there was a chance that it outsped. But at the same time, that was okay, because we did get the priority Ice Shard off. He does take out my Mamoswine, which once again is okay, because we are left with Dr. Bird, and Dr. Bird has the priority Brave Bird to take out the Alakazam. Not a big deal whatsoever, and we defeated David with that. I think that this is an absolutely fantastic battle. I was absolutely blown away by the plays that David was making, and I had tons of fun with this. And honestly, I've battled David in the past before, and I can say that he's improved a lot. This is probably going to be one of my favorite battles for time to come. I'm really excited to battle you guys, but with how close this match was and how fun it was, I figured I would just go ahead and upload it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Make sure to check out David's channel, which is SensationalGP, and even tweet at him. I'll link that as well and tell him he battled very well. And I am looking forward to uploading more Wi-Fi battles. I really enjoyed this one. I can't stress that enough. I hope that you guys liked it, and if you did, like I said at the beginning of the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, because I am here, I'm back, and I plan on consistently uploading Pokemon Wi-Fi battles. You're going to see tons of those. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much.